Jubilee that organizes discussions with various different people having different beliefs. One of which the guest host sits at a table in the middle of a room filled with people who oppose them, and then they take turns sitting down face to face and arguing with them. And in their recent episode, they had leftist YouTuber Sam Seder, who got owned by various different young adults, particularly this woman who schooled him on the founding of America. And
we are going to watch Sam Seder of the Majority Report get absolutely annihilated. And it's enjoyable to watch. It really is. I'm not against Sam Seder. We've done some reactions to him and his partner, Emma Vigeland. But when you come to the table with authenticity, Sam Seder can't really beat that. And that's why he stutters here. That's why he struggles here. Let's go back to Sam Seder. Jubilee debate. This thing's going viral.
In American culture.
So your argument is
that has been the dominant culture.
Just to be
clear.
And
we're not letting people assimilate to that. We're saying you should keep your culture, and this is why our culture is so divided.
Your argument is that Trump is good for those who want a dominant white European culture.
I mean,
well, among many other things, but since you put it that way, yeah,
kind of do.
Yeah.
That is what America is. It's rooted in European identity and Christian values. That's what it has been. Would you really disagree with that? What is it then if that's not the identity of America?
Well, I think the identity of America...
For the majority of time, America's been a country. You don't think that's been the identity?
Well, actually, no. I think actually the identity of America has been, for better or for worse, a melting pot.
For better or for worse, but I thought diversity is our strength. And by the way, that young woman is Sarah Stock, who has obviously blown up because of that viral clip. And I'm sure that Conservative Inc. will very soon call her a evil white nationalist and try to get her canceled. But she is right about American culture. After all, these are the founding fathers. They certainly didn't look like this or this or this. And every ethnic group around the world has a different culture, different beliefs, different values, different standards, different practices that then become ingrained in the cultures of the countries that they once founded.
For better or for worse, a melting pot in that regard.
Yeah, maybe since like the 1960s. Melting pot literally means assimilation too. It means melting. It means you're assimilating to the dominant culture. Is that not what melting means?
No, it doesn't.
And now instead we're saying there's something wrong with xenophobia.
Culture. No, I mean, look, I got to be honest with you. Like, you and I have a fundamental disagreement. We will never see eye to eye on this. I think what you're expressing, though, is really what the Trump movement at its heart is about. And I think that's problematic.
I disagree. I don't think Trump's like anywhere close to being a Christian nationalist. That's ridiculous. Like Trump's basically a Democrat from like 15 years ago when it comes to social issues.
So you don't think that he's conservative enough for you?
Oh, definitely. Nowhere close. No.
He's not xenophobic enough for you?
No, he's trying to pour a bunch of H-1Bs. Are you kidding?
Right. Oh, so you want to get them out too? Yeah. No, yeah. I think you're making my argument for me.
Actually, sir, the founding fathers of the United States of America made the same exact argument that she is making. Of course,
and Sam, you didn't make an argument, just to be clear.
Never hear this from Glenn Beck or anybody on Fox News or over at the Daily Wire. But if you actually look back at history, the very first Congress, which convened in 1789, then passed the Nationality Act of 1790, declaring and restricting who could be citizens of this great new country, restricting it literally to white people from Europe. And when that bright young woman mentioned the 1960s being a pivotal change in American culture, she was referencing something that you also will never hear talked about in mainstream conservative circles, because it's just too racist for them to point out actual American history and how we got to this point. She was referencing the Hart-Celler Act, also known as the Immigration and Nationality Act of 1965, which was the law that changed the United States immigration system, which had been previously in place, abolishing the national origins quota system, which was in place in order to keep the United States predominantly white. So while the politically correct...
So you see the back-to-back 1964, we had the horrific Civil Rights Act. Yes, I'm not going to digress, but it was terrible. Maybe we'll do that another time. If you want to know, give me the comment on the video and I can tell you. So you had the horrific Civil Rights Act, then back to back after this, the immigration, citizenship, nationalization law that pretty much destroyed the country.
Talking point is that we're a nation of immigrants, and we always have been. The official policy of the United States was always immigration in moderation in order to keep the original demographics in place. But because many people haven't assimilated and don't appreciate this incredible country that our founding fathers built, many of them are starting to regret living among white people and are pining away for a Black-only country.
We're struggling to have one society, one culture, one set of mores.
But I thought diversity was our strength. What does she mean we're struggling?
Yeah.
One set of values, which is so different. And living together is hard, and it's going to be hard because there's very little compromise between the two things we want to do in the world and what we want to be. I'm not sure that this experiment can work, to be honest. And it's never been done. I mean, the only other country that's even similar to us is South Africa, but they're 80% Black and like 15% white. So they're the flip side of us.
And that country has broken down into complete and utter chaos. So in order to try to reverse...
I can't believe she brought up South Africa. South Africa has turned to absolute, literally trash. That wasn't the own that she thought it was.
The joys of diversity because of those who refuse to assimilate into American culture. Many people, including this HBO documentary, are encouraging Black people to leave the northern states and then move to the southern states and then concentrate themselves in various cities and states in order to create Black majority regions.
I'm trying to find a way we can lift the burden off the shoulders of Black people of white supremacy.
What he means, of course, is lifting the burden of having to live amongst us white people, despite everything that we've done for him, including saving him from growing up in an environment like this.
What if we skip over all that hoping? What if we skip over all of the pleading and the begging and the marching?
The whining, the crying, the complaining. Please do. We're sick of hearing it.
And the shouting, and go straight to the power. During the Great Migration, about 6 million Black people left the South for cities in the North and West. I suggest that Black people return to the states with the highest percentages already of Black people, where they can gain political power.
If we're going to make a go of it, the South
I actually support that. Absolutely. Go ahead and do that.
makes a lot of sense.
This is obviously a pro-Black nationalist documentary calling for Blacks to just take over entire states. But
I don't have a problem with that. I have no problem with that. That's America. We have territories, which are states. And if you are MAGA, if you are populist left, if you're whatever group you want to align with, go ahead and create a territory and get some power. Absolutely.
But if you're white and you just want to live among...
Yeah. See, that's the other side of it. It applies to everyone, even whites. It applies to them too.
Some fellow white neighbors in the suburbs, then you will be canceled like Scott Adams.
The best advice I would give to white people is to get the hell away from Black people. Just to get the fuck away. Wherever you have to go, just get away. Because there's no fixing this.
That's the exact same argument that they're making in this HBO documentary.
Yeah, but he doesn't get this. He doesn't get afforded the same grace. But let's all be real. The goal in life is to get money and to, let's just say, separate yourself from certain areas. That's kind of the goal of life, of America. That doesn't mean everything's going to be all good just because they have money and you got away. But that's kind of what everybody wants to do. Give the channel a like, comment, let me know what you think, subscribe. That's why we're going to do more Mark Dice, because he brings honesty to the table that you can't. It's very hard to refute what Mark Dice is saying here.
The next clip is ready below. Welcome to After Show Carnage.